So I'm just waiting for the people. Hello, replay people. Trying something new, using a background, a um, jazz jam here with Janetta Vendetta. That is Janetta Vendetta's band. Janetta's Vendetta. I figured she owns copyright, so we're good to go. Marky Mark, you missed my earlier members only. All right, back to messed up screen. What? Did you just wake up, Marky Mark? It's 9:48. Time to start the day. Good morning, Holly. I wanted to be at the beach, of course, but we're gonna have to just settle for the Everglades green screen. Or wait, that's actually not the... Oh, that face is creepy. Look, it's like I got a ghost. That's crazy. We'll turn it over this way a little bit. All right. Hi, guys. Have a nice greenery behind me. Actually, I want to have a gator behind me. Yeah, exactly. The members only today has some really good information, so please check it out. What do you think about this guy? There's Wally Gator. Wait, here, let's show you some more. Who's hiding? Ah, it's a gator. You know, I do love my gators. Look at that. What a beautiful specimen of an American alligator. And I took that photo myself, of course, in the Florida Everglades, one of my most favorite places on earth. Okay, guys. So, hey, Darla. Good to see everybody coming in this morning. So, you know, I started reading Ezekiel last week, and I keep getting this little voice in my head saying, Jill, you got to finish reading Ezekiel. You got to read it. So I thought I would start with that. And welcome to today's Beach Report. Before we do get started reading, I also wanted to let you know I will be reading an excerpt from my book, like it was yesterday, A Journalist's File Since 9/11, which I published myself in 2015. And it is very interesting how things happen, that it's going to actually be put in a time capsule. Let me turn off the music. So my book, where'd it go? This book is going to be in a time capsule, and it will be opened 50 years from now. And that is so exciting for me. And I now have the goal that I have to live 50 more years because I want to see that happen, right? I think I can do it. I'll be 110 in 50 years. So yeah, yes, 2076 days. Thank you. Everyone knows Jill can't math. I am the worst at math. I'm the queen of grammar, but math, no thank you. Not good at it. So yes, 2076. So I'm going to live to be 110 years old, okay? I have to. If I am to take my daughter and my granddaughter and any other ancestors I might have by then to Saxonburg, Pennsylvania for the opening of a time capsule in 50 years. How cool is that, right? Hi, Meta. Okay, so Bo does have some very interesting information on how to own nothing and control everything in a legal and lawful way on the members only live. So you guys need to check that out. We will give you more information because I'd like to research it as well. But if you are a member, please go to this morning's members only live. It's not very long, but it has some really great information in it. And you're going to want that. So check that out. Hello, Ashley. Christ has risen and Jesus loves you too. So I think that is my sign to start reading the Bible. What do you think? I was kind of like, you know, what am I going to do today? Because I have limited time. Oh my gosh, I just feel like the days are flying past me and I have so much going on. Hi, Gabriel. Holly, can you imagine your new granddaughter will be 50 years old in 50 years? Yes, Holly, that's why I'm like so excited about my book going into this time capsule. Thank you so much, Christ has risen. You are wonderful. I love the sunshine. So that's the greatest thing is that I've got like my granddaughter has an appointment or I don't know what, a calendar, an event, let's say an event to attend in 50 years. Whether I'm here or not, she's going. So I think that's really cool. And I kept thinking, yes, my granddaughter will go. And then I thought, my daughter will be in her 80s. And then I thought, and I could be 110. I would like to be 110. I'm going for it. So I now have a new reason for living, if nothing else, because you know what? I think we all need reasons to be alive. People who are not contributing anything to society or don't have any friends or feel like they're just, or are being useless. That's not how you live. You got to do things. You got to do a lot of things in your life because you want to be remembered. That information has already saved me over $10,000 and I just signed up mid-April. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, that's exclusive for the members. So, all right, I'm going to read Ezekiel now because Christ has risen, would like to hear it. And all the rest of you. So I started reading Ezekiel last week, and I'm just going to do a quick recap with just the different sections, chapters, whatever. It starts out the living creatures and the glory of the Lord, and then it goes into Ezekiel's call. I'm not reading this again because it's a lot. And then warning to Israel, and then siege of Jerusalem symbolized, and then a prophecy against the mountains of Israel. 34 days clean. Oh, congratulations, Lakin. I'm so proud of you. You won't be blocked here, David. We love to talk about Jesus on the Beach Report, and you know that, and that's why you're here. So you are amongst your people. You're with your Beach Report family. Nobody's going to get triggered when they hear the name Jesus here. And if they are, and they say something nasty, the block party will begin. Marky Mark is ready to lower the hammer. So is Holly, and so is Bo. So I had a talk with my members, by the way. And we all decided that I will no longer be moderating. I mean, unless I'm the only one. Hi, Stuart. I hope to live to be Noah's age too. Build me a big boat. I love it. That's so great. Greetings, New Jersey. We all love Atlantic City, and I am a former Jersey girl, Billy. So welcome, welcome. Yes, David, I'm your safe place. Absolutely. Don't ever worry about it. Here, we love God, and we love President Trump too. So there's that as well. You don't have to feel like, you have to always defend yourself here. Yes, it's a religious shit show. Marky Mark. So I promise my moderators, I will no longer give any air to negativity. I will no longer point out the trolls and say anything about them. I am only going to let my moderators deal with them, okay? So I like it for your twins too, Ashley. Oh my gosh, you have such a great point. Thank you for pointing that out, my friend. Because I do realize there are teenagers watching the Beach Report. So we also always have to be mindful of them. But now Ashley points out that we have 2 little babies in their mama's belly, and they are listening. They can hear. Babies before they're born, they can hear. Never forget that. Never forget that experiences before birth actually will affect you later in life. And if you are loved, it's only a good thing. And I say this as an adopted baby. I was a baby. I was separated from my mother at birth, and I think about my mother's pregnancy with me, and can you imagine giving birth to a baby that you know you're going to give away? It's got to be a horrible pregnancy. You know, do you bond with the baby? Do you sing to your baby? Do you want your baby to know you when you're going to give your baby away? Do you ignore your baby in the womb? Do you pretend like they're not even there? I don't know how my mother behaved when I was in her belly, but I I'd like to think I got love even though she couldn't keep me. I know she loved me. I know that was the only way that she could give me away because she loved me so much. And that is a story that every adoptee is told, and it might not be true for every adoptee, but in my case, it was absolutely true. Lone says, my mom used to sit on the washing machine. Maybe that's why I like roller coasters. It really could be. That is so funny. David, I voted for question mark because of a fight I heard when I was in the womb. That's, I'm not getting that. Anyway, you do have to think about it. Unborn babies, they are part of our lives. And anybody who wants to pretend like they're not people, I got two words for you, and they're not very nice, so I'm not going to say them because my moderators will ban me. But you know, I am the advocate for the unborn. They are people. They are with us. Even if you can't see them, you can see them. I mean, Ashley said her babies are kicking and moving around and doing all sorts of things. They are babies. They are human babies. And Jesus Christ says, have no fear, Ashley. Stuart says, when Jesus was faced with sorrow, he lived for the joy that is to come. It's all good. Yes, yes. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Oh my gosh, Ashley, you are so blessed. And we are all going to be mindful of your babies even before they're born. With that said, I'm going to start reading Ezekiel, and I know the babies can't understand it, but I hope that they will hear it and take it in. So I have found forgiveness to be a survival tool. David, facts. That is huge. That is huge. Forgiveness. It is a survival tool, man. Good one. Wow. I gotta think on that a little bit. Okay. Ezekiel 7:8. Idolatry in the temple. In the 6th year, in the 6th month, on the 5th day, June 5th. See, math. Well, I was sitting in my house, and the elders of Judah were sitting before me. The hands of the sovereign Lord came upon me there. I looked, and I saw a figure like that of a man. From what appeared to be his waist down, he was like fire, and from there up, his appearance was as bright as glowing metal. He stretched out what looked like a hand and took me by the hair of my head. The Spirit lifted me up between the earth and heaven, and in visions of God, he took me to Jerusalem, to the entrance to the north gate of the inner court, where the idol that provokes to jealousy stood. And there before me was the glory of the God of Israel, as in the vision I had seen in the plain. Plain being Plain. There were no planes back then. Then he said to me, Son of man, look toward the north. Thank you, Mark. So I looked, and in the entrance north of the gate of the altar, I saw this idol of jealousy. And he said to me, Son of man, do you see what they are doing? The utterly detestable things the house of Israel is doing here, things that will drive me far from my sanctuary. But you will see things that are even more detestable. We'll be with you all weekend, Ashley, no fear. Then he brought me to the entrance to the court. I looked and I saw a hole in the wall. He said to me, Son of man, now dig into the wall. So I dug into the wall and saw a doorway there. And he said to me, Go in and see the wicked and detestable things they are doing here. So I went in and looked, and I saw portrayed all over the walls and all kinds of crawling things and detestable animals and all the idols of the house of Israel. In front of them stood 70 elders of the house of Israel. And Jaazaniah, son of Shaphan, I can't say these names, sorry, was standing among them. Each had a censer in his hand, and a fragrant cloud of incense was rising. He said to me, Son of man, have you seen what the elders of the house of Israel are doing in the darkness, each at the shrine of his own idol? They say, The Lord does not see us. The Lord has forsaken the land. Again, he said, You will see them doing things that are even more detestable. Then he brought me to the entrance to the north gate of the house of the Lord, and I saw women sitting there mourning for Tammuz. And he said to me, Do you see this, son of man? You will see things that are even more detestable than this. He then brought me into the inner court of the house of the Lord, and there at the entrance to the temple, between the portico and the altar, were about 25 men. Hi, Bo. Oh, that's, I thought you were calling me an angel. That's funny. Hi, angel. I got all confused. Okay. With their backs toward the temple of the Lord and their faces toward the east, they were bowing down to the sun in the east. He said to me, Have you seen this, son of man? It is a trivial matter for the house of Judah to do the detestable things they are doing here. Must they also fill the land with violence and continually provoke me to anger? Look at them, pulling the branch to their nose. Therefore, I will deal with them in anger. I will not look at them with pity or spare them. Although they shout in my ears, I will not listen to them. Yeah, that's it right there. Not listening to them. Blocking out the bad. Distancing yourself from negativity. And thank you to my moderators, because invoking the name of the Lord and talking about the house of Israel is bound to attract some crazy people. Hey, Nicole, which beach are you at? Donna, what the heck? Facebook. Okay, here's another one. The next one. Idolaters killed. Yeah, be careful of the autocorrect. It might be demonic. Wait 1 second. Let me just check something out. Look at that gator. Oh. That was Donna texting me. All right. Hey, CK. All right. Well, Nicole, you can tell us what happened, but I'm going to keep reading, okay? All right. Good morning, New Jersey. Idolaters killed. Then I heard him call out in a loud voice. Oh, thank you, Christ is risen. Bring the guards of the city here, each with a weapon in his hand. And I saw 6 men coming from the direction of the upper gate, which faces north, each with a deadly weapon in his hand. With them was a man clothed in linen who had a writing kit at his side. They came in and stood beside the bronze altar. Now the glory of the God of Israel went up from above the cherubim where it had been, and moved to the threshold of the temple. Then the Lord called to the man clothed in linen, who had the writing kit at his side, and said to him, "Go throughout the city of Jerusalem and put a mark on the foreheads of those who grieve and lament over all the detestable things that are done in it." As I listened, he said to the others, "Follow him through the city and kill without showing pity or compassion. Slaughter old men, young women and maidens, women and children, but do not touch anyone who has the mark. Begin at my sanctuary." So they began with the elders who were in front of the temple. Then he said to them, "Defile the temple and fill the courts with the slain. Go." So they went out and began killing throughout the city. While they were killing and I was left alone, I fell face down, crying out, "Ah, sovereign Lord, are you going to destroy the entire remnant of Israel in this outpouring of your wrath on Jerusalem?" He answered me, "The sin of the house of Israel and Judah is exceedingly great. The land is full of bloodshed, and the city is full of injustice. They say, 'The Lord has forsaken the land, the Lord does not see.' So I will not look on them with pity or spare them, but I will bring down on their own heads what they have done." Then the man in linen with the writing kit at his side brought back word, saying, "I have done as you commanded." This is crazy case. Again, this is Ezekiel. Ezekiel 10. I'm about to read. The glory departs from the temple. I looked and I saw the likeness of a throne of sapphire above the expanse that was over the heads of the cherubim. The Lord said to the man clothed in linen, "Go in among the wheels beneath the cherubim, fill your hands with burning coals from among the cherubim, and scatter them over the city." And as I watched, he went in. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody died. A 6-year-old drowned in the pool, and I was at the restaurant, and it was on the beach, and I saw lifeguards. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so sad about that. Yeah. This is not Jesus stuff, actually, Jaguar. This is from Ezekiel, which is actually in the Hebrew Bible. So there's no Jesus here yet. This is pre-Jesus, okay? Anyway, his parents were nowhere around. I can't even with that. I can't even with that. Yes, this is the Old Testament, exactly. Yes, well, I believe in Jesus Christ, and I think I speak for most of us here. We do believe in Jesus Christ. I am Jewish as well. I am a Messianic Jew. They will go to jail for life, and they should never be parents. I can't even with that, Ashley. I mean, Nicole, that's terrible. So, I'm a Jew for Jesus. I was raised as a Jew, and then I found Jesus to be my Lord and Savior. And I realized that as a Jew, I had been lied to my whole life. As I think many of us have been lied to our whole lives about pretty much everything. But one of the biggest lies in my life was that Jesus was nothing and nobody. That's what I was told, being raised as a Jew. The fact he had his whole life ahead of him, but because of his parents, he died. The ocean is a very dangerous place. And to imagine that there would be was the pool, the ocean, water. It just, you can never, ever leave a child unattended, even for a second. Most drownings can be prevented. Yes. Well, I mean, all drownings can be prevented. Keep the kid out of the pool. Teach them how to swim. All drownings can be prevented. Little babies should actually be taught how to handle themselves in water because of that. But no little baby should be, hey, Zoriana, everyone just hates me. What a sad thing to say about yourself. You know, words are powerful. Don't speak about yourself that way. Love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, nobody else can love you. So be kind with yourself, Zoriana. It doesn't matter about anyone else who loves you. What really matters is that God loves you and that you love you. That's the most important thing. People who don't love themselves never have a good life. It's just true. Um, and then there's Thermophil. I hate me, everyone loves me. It is weird. You know what? Thermophil, I'll bet you are wonderful. I'll bet you are absolutely amazing. And you are such an amazing person that you can't even accept it about yourself. I get it. I get it. There are people like that. And you need to love yourself too. Please do, because if everybody else is telling you that you are wonderful and they love you, just listen to that, okay? On the flip side, if everybody tells you you are terrible and they hate you, then you have to listen to that too. In a way, you know, don't take it in like everyone hates you, but take it in like, I'm doing something that is making everybody hate me. What could it be? You know, go into yourself and figure it out. Truth be told, you have to love yourself before you can love anyone else. That is so true. Donna's like, get out the little violins. Yeah, adjust your attitude. Yeah, come on, you guys. You gotta love yourself. It's so important. Here, hey, hobo man. Hey, Dapper Dan. You've all got your style, but brother, you're never fully dressed without a smile. Your clothes may be Bogrommely, they stand out a mile, but brother, you're never fully dressed without a smile. Who cares what they're wearing on Main Street or Savile Row? It's what you wear from ear to ear and not from head to toe that matters. So, Senator, so janitor, so long for a while, remember you're never fully dressed. Though you may wear the best, you're never fully dressed without a smile. Does anybody know what musical that's from? Let's see if anybody knows. If not, I will tell you. Okay. Let's do you guys want to hear more Ezekiel, or would you like me to read from my book? Nope, not Fair Lady. My Fair Lady, nope. Okay, Bo, do what you need to do, my friend. Darla knows it's Annie. That's one of my very favorite musicals in the whole world. Distractors. I saw most musicals but Annie. Oh, man. Annie was one of the best, and they made a movie about it, too. My favorite part of Annie is in the movie, Carol Burnett played Miss Hannigan, and she was the lady at the orphanage who hated the little girls, and she would sing about them. She would sing, little girls, everywhere I turn, I can see them. Little girls, night and day I eat, sleep, and breathe them. I'm an ordinary woman with feelings. I'd like a man to nibble on my ear, but I'll admit no man has bit. Hi, Philip. So how come I'm the mother of the year? Hi, Mr. Inappropriate. How I hate little shoes, little socks, and each little bloomer. I'd have cracked years ago if it weren't for my sense of humor. Some night I'll step on their freckles. Sometimes I'll straighten their curls. Send the black bug, send the flu, anything that you can do to little girls. People are getting locked out of Facebook. Oh my goodness. So yeah, actually Facebook is kind of crazy cakes lately, and people are getting demonetized and kicked out left and right. I'm still on there though. I actually seem to be making a little bit of money because they keep telling me make 9 reels and you'll make $56. So I'm like, all right, 9 reels it is. Whatever. Um, I'm in show business, Arnell. This is it. This is the show. This is the only show I know. It's the only show I care about. I don't want to get involved with those people. You know, I'll talk about that just a little bit. Wait, I think they're getting too excited about the verdict of the young man. Oh, the dude who thought he could just stab a guy and get off scot-free, and then his parents raised a whole bunch of money for themselves and let the verdict. No bed bugs. Let's see. Let's see. All right, what do we do next? All right. Do you guys want to hear the Bible, or do you want to hear like it was yesterday? Because I'm in a reading mood, because this is what I'm doing. I have to make an audiobook. Everybody asked me to make an audiobook, and I keep not making an audiobook. So I know nobody wants to read anymore. They want everybody to read to them, and they especially want me to read to them, which is great because I like to read and I'm good at it. And so you guys aren't telling me what you want. His parents left the court before sentencing. Can you imagine? Because they didn't care, Holly. Those were parents who simply didn't care. They got their payout. Their son is a POS, and I'm pretty sure that he was a big problem for them way before that. Yeah, they knew. Of course they knew. Oh, thank you, Mark. Anyway, yeah, people will do anything for money. Yeah, that's it. See, here's the thing about me though. I don't work for money because I don't care. Because money isn't real. Something else, time. It's an illusion. I'm gonna say that on every show until you guys get it. Think about it. If money was real, then how come they're always changing it? How come there's inflation? Like 1 minute your dollar is worth this much, and 2 weeks from now it's worth 50 cents. You know, like go dropping all the time. It's ridiculous. So you can't put your stock in money. Like you think you have $100 that you can buy $100 worth of groceries with today, but really last year you bought $100 worth of groceries. Now you're getting like 50. So who cares? It isn't real. It doesn't have value. It doesn't mean anything. What means something is, what do you get out of life? Your experiences. You know, they say that you have a brain. Did you know you have more than one brain? You have a brain in your heart. I just noticed my necklace is askew. You have 2 brains. You have your heart and you have your head. And they need to work together. And you have God. Holly knows. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys this book. I published this. I wrote it over 15 years. It is, first it's a diary that I began on 9/11, that day, when I learned that the World Trade Center was being attacked and that my brother was in the building next to it. And I lost my mind because I love New York City and I used to live there. But most of all, my brother was right there, kind of in the middle of the fray. Thank God he wasn't in the World Trade Center, but he was a witness and he saw everything. And I couldn't find him that day. I was losing my mind. I was like, I need to find my brother. So, yeah, Bo points out the money. They are debt notes. They tell you right on each bill. Exactly. Everyone killing themselves and others for the sake of fictional money. Thank you, Bo. Facts. Facts. My grandpa died in the World Trade Center. Wow. I'm so sorry. I was one of the lucky ones. I see you, Doe, and I'm like, it hurts. It hurts even 25 years later. It hurts so very badly. And I'm so sorry that you did not get to know your grandfather. Because I don't know how old you are, Doe, but I don't want anyone to forget 9/11. So I wrote this book 15 years after 9/11 because I wanted it to be instructional. I wanted it to start a conversation with people about 9/11, about younger people like Doe, whose family was so affected, and people who don't know anything about it. So, hey, young gold. No, we're talking about 9/11. Awesome. So right now, this is about 9/11. All right, Bo, see you later. So, Mona Lisa, that's funny. Isn't there a song about Mona Lisa? All right, I'm going to read the author's introduction of my book because this book is being put into a time capsule in Saxonburg, Pennsylvania. This is a Pennsylvania book. It used to be sold at the Shanksville 9/11 Memorial, and why it's not is a long story, but it doesn't matter. I'll be there this year as I have been for the past couple of years. It's so sad. It's so sad. It's also America's greatest criminal mystery. I don't think it's total mystery, but it's a mystery because nobody knows exactly what happened, how, or why. It's a lot. It's a lot, and your family paid the price, Joe. Yours was one of many families who paid the price. I'm glad you're here, and I hope that your grandfather is with us right now. Okay, here's my introduction to my book. In the aftermath of 9/11, the American people demonstrated a renewed interest in patriotism. However, as time goes by, people seem to have forgotten what life was like in the days before, during, and just after one of the most horrific terrorist acts ever committed on U.S. soil, right in front of our eyes. It starts out as a journal, yes, Arnell. It's not all a journal, just the first half of it is a journal. But this is my introduction. This is not part of the journal. I, too, had pretty much forgotten about the way the world had changed in an instant, and then more life-altering changes unfolded as the weeks turned into months, and the months turned into years. Now we're seeing people who were babies in 2001 entering high school. Even more now. And we've come to accept the fact that we can watch journalists get their heads chopped off on YouTube. And the kidnapping of schoolgirls by monsters in the Middle East could be resolved by merely tweeting hashtag bring back our girls, even though it wasn't. Last summer, it was all the rage to have yourself filmed dumping ice water on your own head in a countrywide dare, but it still failed to wake anyone up to the fact that there are bigger problems facing our country. Please keep in mind, this book was written before COVID. And a lot of times I read it now and I'm like, it's eye-opening, okay? The 9/11 Memorial Museum was dedicated on May 15th, 2014, and opened on May 21st. I visited the site on July 14th on a scheduled press trip. I plan to write about the experience as a travel piece for North Hills Monthly magazine, one of my regular clients. But as I walked around the museum and then took my own personal tour of my favorite big city, I began to realize that what happened here had affected me on a much deeper level. When I returned to Pittsburgh after my NYC press trip, I did a little research before writing the 9/11 museum article, and I came upon something I had written right when it happened. The file was called Bad Day, all one word, and it had been sitting practically forgotten in a Windows 97 file from my first laptop. When I opened it and started reading about my own reactions to the attacks as they took place, I was transported back to a time I almost preferred to forget. However, those diary entries awoke in me the realization that 9/11 has been a theme throughout my career as a journalist. I began writing as a stringer for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette on October of 2001, and many of my assignments reflected on the way 9/11 was changing our lives. Boys were inspired to become soldiers, and school children did what they could to make those soldiers feel valued. As the war in Iraq raged on, some of those soldiers died, and some of them came back altered. And I was honored to write newspaper articles that would let my neighbors know what they were going through and how we could help. My freelance career blossomed, and I began writing for other publications around town. Every now and then, the subject of 9/11 came up as people struggled to honor the victims and pursue the new post 9/11 reality. All of this came flooding back to me as I wrote the article about the 9/11 Museum in September of 2014. A month later, on November 3rd, 2014, One World Trade Center, aka Freedom Tower, opened for business. This was the same day my article went live, and the coincidence convinced me that I should do more than just write another article. I should put a book together. I should remind people about what we've been through, since those attacks shattered our peace and sparked the war on terrorism. I searched my computer and easily found dozens of applicable articles that strengthened my resolve. A month later, I told my cousin Gary about my idea to write a book that chronicles the way 9/11 has affected our lives since it happened, and he told me the most amazing story. In fact, I was shocked to hear about his unique experience on 9/11 and the way it has affected all of us. Now, as the 15th anniversary of 9/11 approaches, along with my milestone birthday of 50, I suddenly grasp the importance of teaching those who don't or can't remember, or even remember to remember. People born right before, during, and after 9/11, 2001 were robbed of the freedoms we used to take for granted. It was hard fought for by our fathers, grandfathers, and great grandfathers. But by the time we reached the 21st century, we believed we had evolved above brutal war and senseless killing. On 9/11, we found out that we were indeed still vulnerable, and it changed us. Thank you. Air travel has changed the most. Now we are all under suspicion of a seemingly tyrannical TSA. Gone are the days when you can meet people at the gate and bring a bottle of water through security. Those liberties have been eroded bit by bit, and we largely accept it in the name of safety. But the terrorists strike regardless. Shoe bomber, underwear bomber, Boston bombers. It's a greater power that limits their destruction, and our government pretends that they were powerless despite warnings that these people were planning to strike. Like it was yesterday, is a compilation of unpublished and re-edited published material about the effects of 9/11 since the attack took place. It's a reminder for those of us who were adults in 2001, and for everyone else, it's a real-life account of how America's freedom has been gradually diminished since then. This is indeed a history book. It chronicles how September the 11th affected my life and the lives of my fellow countrymen. It's a book about life going on after September 12th. So since then, we have watched our freedoms be even more eroded. And the way that we've been treated since 9/11, as if we are all criminals, has turned our country upside down. I'm going to read one more chapter. This is an article that I wrote. I believe it appeared in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, July 3rd, 2002. Wow. It's called Ride for America. Since they left Oklahoma City on April 24, 2002, 4 cowboys and their convoy of Buffalo soldiers have been creating quite a spectacle along highways throughout the eastern half of America as they wagon train across Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Maryland, the District of Columbia, New Jersey, and New York, all summer long. Through drenching storms and muggy heat, their sojourn will be completed on September 11th in New York City, with the cowboys tipping their hats to the thousands who sacrificed their lives 1 year before in a terrorist act that surpassed even Oklahoma City. Thanks. We want the victims of terrorism to know that we are willing to share in their grief and hardship. Our ride from the Alfred P. Murrah Building in Oklahoma City to the site of the World Trade Center is just a token of the heartache and pain we feel for them. Our sacrifice is small by comparison, but we know that we can make a difference, said Tim Myers, president of Oklahoma Western Heritage, Inc. The riders have established a nonprofit organization and are collecting money to help the children orphaned by the tragedy. A riderless horse named Scout heads the troop, his saddle adorned with symbols of our fallen heroes, patches and badges, and a fireman's boot hanging from the stirrups. The group trotted into Butler for a pre-scheduled meet and greet at the Butler Farm Show grounds on July 3rd, 2002. Sorry. The Butler Farm Show is where President Trump was almost murdered and Corey Comprador was murdered. And just to let you guys know, I will be riding in a parade on July 3rd in Saxonburg, Butler County. And sitting next to me will be Helen Comprador. Okay? So I'm going to have to get used to talking about this and keep it together. If only for Helen. Because this is a lot. And then I read this and I think, that's why this book is going in the time capsule. It's a Butler book. It's a Butler book. Sorry. It's a lot. Thank you, Darla. Thank you. By the way, I'm a real person. I'm a real journalist. I no longer work for any mainstream news. I don't write for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I don't think it even exists anymore. That paper got into bankruptcy, I guess, last year. They might have sold it. I don't know. The Butler Eagle, the publisher of the Butler Eagle, is a very dear friend of mine. So you'll see me with her on July 3rd. And A lot going on. It's like I'm being called back to the Butler area. And I'm not really sure why, but it is a lot, Mark, but that was where my career really blossomed after I moved from Switzerland to Pittsburgh. Hi, Joseph. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna keep reading now, okay? Because sometimes, it's been a while since I've read this stuff, and you need to be there, Darla. You know you need to be there. It's not that far away for you. Okay. These cowboys know about terrorism and lives shattered by an evil plot. Oh, God. Myers said he considers the bombing of the Murrah building in Oklahoma City a terrorist act, right along with the events of 9/11, which is represented by their use of the number 4 in Ride for America. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. Thank you, Lacey. I'm trying to go with the flow. I love when you guys send me this flow state. It actually reminds me to take a breath and go with the flow. Calm. I'm going to keep reading. Soon after watching the Twin Towers collapse on television, the spiritually moved cowboy felt compelled to travel to the other 3 sites, Shanksville, the Pentagon, and Ground Zero, to raise money for the children left orphaned by the tragedy and to show his support for the fighting spirit which runs through the veins of this country's Western heritage. I got together with a good bunch of people and we thought about how we were going to get there because that's a long way off, recalls Myers. Then I said, the only way we're going to get there is on horseback. With that statement, the 3 other cowboys, Robert Malone, Fred Bell, and Gary Conger, Ride for America became a mission. When Vision Quest National, a program which sponsors horseback journeys through the western United States for inner city children, got wind of the Cowboys' mission, they offered to escort the men with rotating groups of troopers and a wagon train. According to wagon train master Rich Valdez, the troopers consist of 26 children, ages 13 to 18, who represent the Buffalo Soldiers. This is a Native American term that was used in the 1800s by Cheyenne warriors out of respect for the fighting ability of the 10th Cavalry. Later, all African American soldiers eventually became known as Buffalo Soldiers. The current crop of kids originated in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Oh, wow, Holly. Oh, my gosh. I'll never forget the Oklahoma City bombing. I'll never forget it. You really, really will never forget it, Holly. My God. Okay, I'm going to keep reading. Sorry. I'm trying to be strong. We got 30 to 35 horses on the road. Thank you so much, Mark, said Valdez, and we've been respected so far. Some people on the highway ignore us, but many give their blessings. This is the experience of a lifetime for these kids. 18-year-old Mark, last name withheld for privacy reasons, who was pulled off of the mean streets of West Philadelphia by Vision Quest, is a shining example of an already successful journey. I didn't know real cowboys even existed, but I found that cowboys are quite open-minded people, he said, dressed smartly in his soldier outfit and as polite as a Boy Scout. My life before this was cutthroat. I didn't care about being successful, and I did so much wrong. Now I'm trying to give back something. I have so many regrets, but now I have the opportunity to do good. Most likely, I would be dead if it wasn't for this. Cowboy Gary Conger acknowledged the benefits of having the kids along as escorts. We couldn't do it without them, he told the audience in Butler. As an emergency medical technician and firefighter captain, I'm sorry. Corey Compertor was the firefighter captain. It's like everything's lining up in this article. I haven't read this article in a really long time. I don't usually choose this article to read when I read excerpts of this book, but right now, yeah, everything happens for a reason. Absolutely everything. Sorry. Not sorry. I'm not crying, you're crying. Yeah, hi, Philip. Conger was deeply affected by 9/11. Cowboys are different, he said. We have deep-seated souls, and we're doing this for the children who were orphaned, as well as for those who died. Along their route, the Cowboys have been accepting donations to keep the cost of the journey as low as possible. Michelle Summerall and Mike Coulter of Mars EMS, that's Mars, Pennsylvania, saw the horses and kids riding into Butler on Monday and decided to check out the situation. We figured it was Vision Quest, said Coulter, and when we found out what they were doing, we asked how we could help. For the first time in her life, Summerall found herself in the local Agway buying 3 days worth of oats, hay, and firewood. And Coulter borrowed his father's truck to haul it to the Butler Farm Show. I think what they're doing is amazing, said Summerall. It's a strange donation for Mars EMS to buy things for horses, but it's definitely worth it. Their next stop will be Shanksville, arriving by Sunday, July 14th, where they have a potluck dinner planned with the local community. The evening will include an equestrian show by the troopers as well as live music and storytelling. On the morning of July 15th, the Cowboys will participate in a Flight 93 memorial ceremony, which will culminate in their placing the Oklahoma state flower on at the crash site. Sonny Malone, a cowboy and direct descendant of the Osage Indian tribe, said, if anyone has any kind of heartfelt knowledge about what happened on 9/11, it's Oklahomans. Everything changed in that one instant. Now we've put aside our regular lives to do this, and we don't worry about the weather, the cold, the heat, and the ticks, because we're doing this to get those orphaned kids some money so that bin Laden can't rob us of their potential. We're Americans, and united we stand. As I'm reading this, and they say their next stop will be Shanksville, that means that they were in Butler on July 13th, the day when President Trump was shot and Corey Compatore was killed. You know, this book changed my life. 9/11 was such a horrible thing. The Oklahoma City bombings, so horrible. Terrorism, so horrible. But sometimes, you have to learn from things that happen. And something like this, and the fact how I wrote this book because of the way that Americans all came together like these cowboys. And by the way, my husband was a cowboy too. He was a Cuban cowboy. He was a cowboy. He loved it. And the last thing that he wanted to do was do a cattle, oh, Darnell, thank you so much. A cattle drive. David, wait, what does Darnell say? Thank you for keeping it flowing. You're the best. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Back in 1998, David learned that the windows on the Capitol building were bulletproof. Once it was broken, I knew it was all Hollywood. Oh, that's such a good point, David. OMG. Wow. Wow. Thank you. Every time I even read this book aloud or talk about it to other people, I learn things. So I'm working on another book, and I feel like I am way behind. And I've written a lot of things that I can put in this book, but if I'm going to do this book, like, it has to be immediate. But this book, this is the book that's going in the time capsule, and it's already like a time capsule just reading it. And it's such a Butler book, and just reading about the fact that these cowboys, they didn't even know when they went to the Butler Farm Show that that would be the site of yet another terrorist attack by a damn Pennsylvania kid. Or really? I don't think it was just him. Anyway, I'm writing a book about that, about the Butler shooting and the killing of Corey Comprador. And, you know, those were my people that day. I was living in Fort Lauderdale. You know what? Would you guys like to hear the first chapter of my new book about the Butler shooting? I feel like kind of like reading it. I don't know. It's just, it's not even finished or anything, but I'm going there. So hold on. Look at the gator. Okay, I need a little coffee. This is an intense show. I'm sorry. All right, so I wrote this last year. My Butler book won't be ready. I don't know how long it's going to take me to write it, because things keep happening. And as you guys, some of you might know, that I was asked to be in a parade on July 3rd. I'll be riding in a 100-year-old carriage that was used 50 years ago for the anniversary of the 200th anniversary of our country's birthday. And so they're using the same carriage, and it will be drawn by Clydesdale horses. I mean, that's just blowing my mind right there. And sitting next to me will be Helen Comprador. And she's going to be wearing vintage 1976 4th of July clothing. So will I. So my stylist, Donna, is hard at work trying to figure out what I'm going to wear for that. But it will be vintage 1976 clothes. So pretty cool, right? Oh, Darla, what did you just hide? Oh my goodness. Not appropriate for this show. Okay, so wait a minute. Okay. This is called Butler 1 year later. Thank you, Mark. But I'll be in a parade. I'm like, do I wear a fancy hat? I don't know. Anybody? Maybe I should just wear my rally hat. And I will be in Butler also for J13. Okay. You ready? Ready? Let me know if you're ready. Are you ready for me to read? I need you guys to let me know that you're ready, because this is very serious for me. And this is a preview of a book that I'm writing right now. Yeah, you know what to do, Mark. Thank you, Philip. May we all be comforted, actually. All right, Darla's ready. We're a fascinator. We didn't wear those in 1976, I don't think. Cowboy hat, yes. Fascinator, no. But I think my my flag cowboy hat will be good. What do you think, Donna? Hi, Suzette. All right, Mark's ready. Mark's like, do it already. All right, I need one more ready before I'm gonna start. Come on, people. I need to know that you're watching and engaged, because this is a lot for me to read something that is a work in progress. Okay, Donna. Butler, 1 year later. All right, Suzette's ready. Good. I know you're funny, Mark. It's okay. I get it. Anyway, okay. Residents now suffering from PTSD, thank you, Philip, and increased mistrust of government agencies. From 2001 to 2019, I was a stringer for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and Butler County was the heart of my beat. Through those years, I came to know the community deeply, covering school boards, borough councils, and township meetings. Although I grew up in Allegheny County, I attended high school just across the county line. Driving to Zelienople in the early 1980s meant passing through the farmland of Cranberry Township, a quiet rural stretch dotted with barns, silos, and the roadside produce stands that sold Evans City corn. That once sleepy route has since transformed into a booming corridor of development and commerce. Zelienople was and still is a charming little town. As kids, our parents always stopped at the famous candy store on our way back to Pittsburgh. It was the treat that kept us quiet in the back seat. These places shaped me. And even though I've lived in Fort Lauderdale for the past decade, Butler County still feels like home. On July 13th, 2024, I was driving to the beach in Fort Lauderdale when the news broke. President Trump had been shot. I raced home and turned on the television, and there he was, emerging from the chaos, bloody but defiant, pumping his fist and shouting, "Fight, fight, fight!" Behind him stood a crowd filled with familiar faces. I immediately recognized Vincent Fusca, looking stunned. His trademark hat always made him easy to spot at local Trump rallies. My eyes scanned the scene and landed on others I knew, local and county officials I had interviewed countless times. These were people thrilled to sit behind the man they believed could save the country from the Democrats' illegitimate candidates. News outlets like CNN, covering their first Trump rally with a high-speed camera, expected the crowd to panic. But Trump supporters aren't built like that. They stood firm and prayed, anxiously watching President Trump with teary eyes, even as several rally-goers had been shot. It felt as though the bullets were aimed at the crowd, not just Trump, one witness recalled. Instead of scattering in fear, their faith was rewarded when President Trump stood up and signaled that he was very much alive. I was screaming and crying all the way from Florida. I almost couldn't believe my eyes. I still cannot think about that moment without crying. Almost immediately, a friend from Pittsburgh sent me the now infamous photo of the dead shooter. Authorities quickly identified him as Thomas Crooks, a quiet, seemingly mild-mannered nursing home worker from Bethel Park. A young man enrolled in community college, planning his future, still living with his parents. His description did not fit the narrative at all. 1 year later, we still have no definitive motives or answers to what may look like a mystery to some. But when you think about the recent news and the incredible methods with which 3 former administrations tried to stop President Trump from ever holding office again, it was easy for us to see that they were trying to kill him. And by they, I do mean Obama, the Clintons, and the Bidens. And everyone involved in this politically, criminally motivated group of egomaniacs. If you think these are harsh words, you ain't seen nothing yet. And that's it. Reactions? Not the Bushes. Yeah, the Bushes too. So, I have not yet interviewed Helen, but of course I will. And I'm going to help her tell her story too. Poor Helen. She lost her husband that day and became a target for the crazy people. She has actually had to change her whole life and move because crazy people. It's sick. It's so sick. But I will tell you what, I hear people saying, oh, President Trump, he doesn't care about her. He certainly cares about her. You know, she could pick up the phone and call him at any minute and he would answer. And he checks on her every week. So there's that. Anyway, thank you, Suzette. Thank you. But there's much more to that book. That is just, like I said, that you just ain't seen nothing yet. And by the way, I don't write with AI. Okay, I have been writing my whole life. I'm a journalist, I'm an author, and I was actually getting help from AI, like, can you edit this? Can you, but you know what? I can't. I don't want anything to do with it because, first of all, AI changes what you write. Thank you so much, you guys. AI is not your friend. AI is a control tactic by companies. Thank you, Mark. Thank you. AI is here to destroy our sense of ourselves. So I will not be using that to create anything because I, quite frankly, think it's evil. Sometimes it's fun, but you know what? I've actually used it so much I don't have any more credits, and I'm certainly not going to spend $100 a week on Chat GPT to listen to some BS. So anyway, I'm going to hug Helen so hard, as I have already hugged Helen. The first time I met her, I'm like, I met her on J13 last year, and she was super sweet and kind, very, very wonderful person. And I didn't want to overwhelm her. She was already overwhelmed. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine? She had been with Corey since she was a teenager. The two of them were their only loves. And all of a sudden, he was gone, and he was a pillar of the community, you know, the captain, the firefighter, was a loss, not just for the Comprador family with their two daughters, and now they have grandchild, or at least one, maybe more. I think Helen welcomed her first grandchild into the world like the same week I did. So we have that in common. I can't wait to see her again. But the day that I first met her, like I said, I didn't want to overwhelm her. So I said, I was supposed to interview you, but I'm not going to do that. I really just want one thing. And she's like, what? And I was like, I just want to hug you on behalf of America. And she was so touched. And she was like, of course. She's really sweet. She doesn't deserve what happened to her. That's for sure. Anyway, thank you, Mark. My journalism mission is far from over. I seem to have lost all my viewers. I don't know why. Maybe they didn't like the opening of my new book. But, well, thank you for the happy poop. That was awesome. That makes up for everything, you know. You get happy poop and you're like, go team. It's funny because one of my best friends just had a colonoscopy, right? And her big goal was to poop. And I'm like, you and my granddaughter, the two of you, you know, all we want is for you to poop. Sorry, I'm talking about poop. Like the guy that came in and talked about poop on the sand, right, Darla? I guess there is a time and a place to talk about poop. Yeah, colonoscopies and babies. Everybody wants you to poop. All right, you guys. So I've got to get back to work. I want to do a beach report today for sunset, if the weather will let me do it. I don't know. It's beautiful right now, so, but if I get out there, it's gonna be bad. It sounds like poopy job. Paul. Thank you, Mark. So, yeah, there's that. I think before I go, though, I'm going to go back to the Bible because I don't know about you, but I want to hear this next chapter because I am kind of, I'm into the story. I don't know. It's really weird to think about. This is Ezekiel. This is before Jesus even existed, or so they say. But this is the Jews. Sorry, this is God talking to this guy Ezekiel about the Jews who he's saying are horrible, doing horrible things. And for some reason, God wants me to read this. And he wants me to keep reading. So I don't know about you, but I'm going to keep reading, okay? That's what we do. The glory departs from the temple. I looked, and I saw the likeness of a throne of sapphire above the expanse that was over the heads of the cherubim. Yeah, 37 likes. Woo woo. How many new subscribers do we have, though? That's a real question. The Lord said to the man clothed in linen, "Go in among the wheels beneath the cherubim. Fill your hands with burning coals from among the cherubim and scatter them over the city." And as I watched, he went in. Now the cherubim were standing on the south side of the temple when the man went in, and a cloud filled the inner court. Then the glory of the Lord rose from above the cherubim and moved to the threshold of the temple. The cloud filled the temple, and the court was full of the radiance of the glory of the Lord. The sound of the wings of the cherubim could be heard as far away as the outer court, like the voice of God Almighty when he speaks. Yes, thank you, everybody, seashells and all. When the Lord commanded the man in linen, "Take fire from among the wheels, from among the cherubim," the man went in and stood beside a wheel. Yeah, let's do lunch. I'm hungry. Thanks a lot, Mark. The man went in and stood beside a wheel. Then one of the cherubim reached out his hand to the fire that was among them. He took up some of it and put it into the hands of the man in linen, who took it and went out. Under the wings of the cherubim could be seen what looked like the hands of a man. I looked, and I saw beside the cherubim 4 wheels, one beside each of the cherubim. The wheels sparkled like chrysolite. What is chrysolite? Something sparkly, clearly. As for their appearance, the 4 of them looked alike. Each was like a wheel intersecting with a wheel, in a wheel. As they moved, they would go in any one of the 4 directions the cherubim faced. The wheels did not turn about as the cherubim went. The cherubim went in whatever direction the head faced, without turning as they went. Their entire bodies, including their backs, their hands, and their wings, were completely full of eyes, as were their 4 wheels. I heard the wheels being called the whirling wheels. Each of the cherubim had 4 faces. One face was that of a cherub. The second face was that of a man. The third, the face of a lion. And the fourth, the face of an eagle. That's it. Then the cherubim rose upward. These were the living creatures I had seen by the Kabar River. When the cherubim moved, the wheels beside them moved. And when the cherubim spread their wings to rise from the ground, the wheels did not leave their side. When the cherubim stood still, they also stood still. And when the cherubim rose, they rose with them, because the spirit of the living creatures was in them. Then the glory of the Lord departed from over the threshold of the temple and stopped above the cherubim. While I watched, the cherubim spread their wings and rose from the ground, and as they went, the wheels went with them. They stopped at the entrance to the east gate of the Lord's house, and the glory of the Lord of Israel was above them. These were the living creatures I had seen beneath the God of Israel by the Kabar River, and I realized that they were cherubim. Each had 4 faces and 4 wings, and under their wings was what looked like the hands of a man. Their faces had the same appearance as though I had seen by the Kabar River. Each one went straight ahead. Hi, Ferris Bueller. I know. I would like 16,000 if I could, but at least get to the halfway mark. But thank you. Okay, sorry, never good enough for me, right? I mean 15,000 is it's like I did this all in the past 2 years, so that is pretty good. All right, I'm going to read one more chapter and then I got to get to work. Judgment on Israel's leaders. Then the Spirit lifted me up and brought me to the gate of the house of the Lord that faces east. There at the entrance to the gate were 25 men, and I saw among them Jazaniah, son of Azur, and Pelatiah, son of Benaiah, leaders of the people. The Lord said to me, Son of man, these are the men who are plotting evil and giving wicked advice in this city. They say, will it not soon be time to build houses? This city is a cooking pot, and we are the meat. Therefore prophecy against them, prophecy, son of man. Then the Spirit of the Lord came upon me, and he told me to say, this is what the Lord says. This is what you are saying, O house of Israel, but I know what is going through your mind. You have killed many people in this city and filled its streets with the dead. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. The bodies you have thrown here are the meat, and the city is the pot. But I will drive you out of it. Hi, Sailor. You fear the sword, and the sword is what I will bring against you, declares the sovereign Lord. I will drive you out of the city and hand you over to foreigners and inflict punishment on you. You will fall by the sword, and I will execute judgment on you at the borders of Israel. Then you will know that I am the Lord. This city will not be a pot for you, nor will you be the meat in it. I will execute judgment on you at the borders of Israel. And you will know that I am the Lord. For you have not followed my decrees or kept my laws, but have conformed to the standards of the nations around you. Now, as I was prophesying, Pelatiah, son of Benaiah, died. Then I fell face down and cried out in a loud voice, Ah, sovereign Lord, will you completely destroy the remnant of Israel? The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, your brothers who are your blood relatives, and the whole house of Israel are those of whom the people of Jerusalem have said, they are far away from the Lord. This land was given to us as our possession. Promised return of Israel. Therefore say, this is what the sovereign Lord says, although I sent them far away among the nations and scattered them among the countries, yet for a little while I have been a sanctuary for them in the countries where they have gone. Therefore say, this is what the sovereign Lord says, I will gather you from the nations and bring you back from the countries where you have been scattered, and I will give you back to the land of Israel again. They will return to it and remove all its vile images and detestable idols. I will give them an undivided heart and put a new spirit in them. I will remove them from their heart of stone and give them a heart of flesh. Then keep my laws. They will be my people, and I will be their God. Is that Ian? Hi, Ian. But as for those whose hearts are devoted to their vile images and detestable idols, I will bring down on their own heads what they have done, declares the sovereign Lord. Then the cherubim with the wheels beside them spread their wings, and the glory of the God of Israel was above them. The glory of the Lord went up from within the city and stopped above the mountain east of it. The Spirit lifted me up and brought me to the exiles in Babylonia, in the vision given by the Spirit of God. Then the vision I had seen went up from me, and I told the exiles everything the Lord had shown me. Okay, I'm going to stop there, and I hope that we have a good sunset evening, that the weather behaves, and maybe we can get a great sunset here on the on the west coast, on Naples. And then tomorrow, I'm going to have a great show for you. Lots of music, lots of singing and dancing, like we like to do. Take a little break from the world and just have fun and sing and dance. So you are so welcome, Holly. I will continue to read from the book of Ezekiel. And I don't know, I like reading the Bible. I hope you like it when I read it to you. All right, you guys. Yeah, sunset freedom. Hey, there's Maui. You should do a Bible study every morning. Thank you for that. You know what? That's a great idea, Maui. I think I will do that, because why not? It couldn't hurt. Anyway, yeah, I think a lot of people would appreciate being closer to God every morning like that. All right, you guys. God bless all decent folk. Good one, Ian. That's a good way to say it. All right, you guys. I will hopefully see you for sunset, and I wish you all a productive day, as I wish myself, because I have a lot of work to do, a lot, and a lot of stuff to get done before I head up north for July 3rd. And before that, though, I've got a lot of other stuff going on, but I'm going to bring you with me everywhere I go, because I always do. Yeah, yeah. We were reading about the wheel, Adana. You just coming on. Thank you, Ian. All right, you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. And like I said, God willing, I will see you this evening. I'm going to say ciao for now. And don't forget, money isn't real and time is an illusion. All right, you guys. Bye.